In the pirate world, there's an unwritten rule: don't touch American cargo ships. But Somali pirates didn't believe in that bad luck. On April 1st, 2009, they hijacked a 17,000-ton U.S. cargo ship and took the captain hostage. This was the first time in 200 years a U.S. flagged ship was attacked by pirates. The U.S. immediately deployed destroyers, aircraft carriers, Navy SEALs, and other military forces. However, they were shocked that the gang attacking the U.S. ship, forcing a carrier to deploy, was just 4 skinny men. This movie is based on this true event. The reason Somali pirates operate so freely is due to the recent civil war in Somalia. This left the government too weak to suppress the pirates. Other major powers also did not want to get involved. Somalia has a special geographic location on an international shipping route. This not only gives pirates countless targets to hunt, but the complex marine environment also helps them escape easily. Because of this, in Somalia, even kids under 18 are already experienced pirates. Every time they go out to rob, they are very excited, because they know one success can change their lives. That day, the ship Alabama, full of cargo, was approaching Somali waters. Captain Phillips carefully checked everything on board. Because piracy had worsened in recent years, he decided to conduct an anti-piracy security drill. If they meet pirates, they must protect the ship and then quietly wait for support. As soon as he got the order, the first mate turned on the security alarm. Hearing the alarm, the crew immediately jumped out of bed and went to their defense stations. Their eyes showed tiredness and reluctance. They had done countless security drills like this. From the crew's perspective, all of this was useless. While the crew reluctantly did their duty, Captain Phillips on the bridge suddenly saw 2 strange boats on the radar. They were approaching at terrifying speed. With his experience, Captain Phillips immediately sensed the danger. He told the chief engineer to increase speed. He also asked the first mate to change course, to test if the other 2 boats would follow. The result was as expected: the enemy kept following. Realizing the danger, the captain made an emergency announcement. The drill was now real. Everyone immediately returned to their positions. To avoid being robbed, he frantically called the U.S. Maritime Bureau for help. But their line was always busy. He couldn't get through. Then he called the UK Maritime Trade Organization, but they just replied coldly.
Copy, Alabama. You should alert your crew, get your fire hoses ready, and follow lockdown procedures.
Is that it?
I'm relaying your transmission now, but chances are it's just fishermen.
They're not here to fish.
Hearing this, Captain Phillips was both angry and helpless. As the pursuing boats got closer, the captain could clearly see 8 pirates on 2 small skiffs, each one carrying a gun. Seeing this, Captain Phillips again told the chief engineer to remove the engine's speed limit, pushing it to the maximum. However, the cargo ship's weight was too great. Even at full speed, it couldn't match the speedboats chasing them. In this crisis, Captain Phillips had an idea. He grabbed the radio, pretending he had contacted the U.S. Navy.
Go, Alabama. Our position is
2 north by 79 degrees 19 east, course 180. Speed is 18.5 knots. We are being approached by 2 pirate skiffs with a possible mothership following. We require immediate assistance.
We have a crew of 20.
We are preparing our weapons now, but request air support if possible.
Copy. Copy, Alabama. Beware, gunship is in the air. ETA, your position, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you, 237.
Unexpectedly, this self-acted trick actually worked. The pirates, who were listening in, couldn't tell if it was real or fake. One small boat even got scared and turned back. The pirate leader on the remaining boat was Muse, a smart man. After seeing nothing unusual, he led his men to speed up and chase the cargo ship again. Seeing the enemy get closer, Captain Phillips told the engineer to create a bigger wake, making strong resistance for the pirates. He also kept changing direction, turning sharply. Finally, after a few turns, the pirate boat's engine couldn't take the stress. It lost power and stopped in the sea. At that moment, Captain Phillips raised his binoculars to look at the pirates. He saw Muse also using binoculars, staring right at him. This meeting of eyes made Captain Phillips realize this was far from over. He knew the pirates would not give up. Having temporarily stopped the pirates, the crew gathered to talk. Someone complained about why the ship had no armed guards. Someone was scared and wanted to seek outside help again. Someone even worried they would die here. Captain Phillips entered and calmed everyone down. Right now, the most important thing was to stay calm and prepare to fight back. Then, Captain Captain Phillips assigned everyone to their guard posts, ready to respond to a surprise attack. Muse, having failed, didn't return to the mothership until dark. But the broken engine wasn't easily fixed. The boat that fled earlier started mocking them. What a total failure. Early the next morning, Muse's team, now with 2 engines, resumed chasing the Alabama. Captain Phillips woke up and spotted them. Unexpectedly, after just one night, the enemy was right behind them again. Seeing this, Captain Phillips immediately sounded the alarm, getting all crew members to battle stations. He then made an emergency call to the Maritime Bureau for help. He also pushed the ship to maximum speed, trying to escape the pirates. Seeing the cargo ship still resisting, Muse started to trick Captain Phillips on the radio.
Stand by. Alabama, this is your final warning. Stop the ship!
Seeing no response, Muse got angry, grabbed his AK, and fired wildly at the bridge. Since the ship had no weapons, they could only use the high-pressure fire hoses to stop the pirates. In an instant, dozens of high-pressure hoses fired. Afraid the hoses would sink their small boat, the pirates didn't dare get close. After circling a few times, they finally found a weakness. One of the high-pressure hoses suddenly failed, creating a gap in the barrier. The captain quickly told his first mate to fix it, while he used flares to stop the approaching pirates. However, against real bullets, the flares did almost no damage. Besides, Muse and his men were desperate for money. If anyone stuck their head out, they would shoot. He knew the pirates would definitely board the ship. So, he immediately told all crew members to hide in the engine room. This was a safe place to hide, preventing many from being taken hostage. Soon, they successfully hooked the ladder onto the ship and climbed aboard one by one. The pirates boarded and ran straight for the bridge. Under the force of bullets, the steel lock on the door didn't stand a chance. Soon, they burst onto the bridge and captured the captain and the others. Muse said, "We just want money, not to kill. Just cooperate, and you'll be fine." To lure the pirates away, the captain said there was $30,000 in the safe, enough for them to live a good life. However, Muse said that money wasn't even enough. Their real target was this giant ship. While they were negotiating, the chief engineer in the engine room shut down the engine system. The entire ship suddenly stopped. Noticing something was wrong, Muse asked the captain what was happening. The captain quickly explained that maybe they ran too fast, and the engine failed. Muse, of course, didn't believe the captain. He went to the control panel and randomly pushed buttons, trying to restart the ship. Knowing someone on board must know how to fix it, Muse ordered the captain to call all crew members back. Under threat of the gun, the captain had to take the radio, but his words were vague. Muse wasn't falling for it. He grabbed the radio and said, "If you don't come out, I'll kill one person every minute." Seeing the critical situation, the captain had to lead the pirates on a search. However, he was smart about the search route. He had secretly turned on his radio to inform the hidden crew members. Then he forced the captain to lead the search. Along the way, the captain kept placating the pirates, saying he also wanted to find his crew. He deliberately led them in circles, hoping to delay. Unexpectedly, Muse spotted the ship's layout diagram on a wall. He was an experienced boatman. One glance, and he knew the engine room was the best place to hide. He immediately told the captain to take them there. The captain was terrified, but he quickly thought of a delay tactic. He calmly said the engine room had no windows and was hot and stuffy. It was better to get water from the galley first. Muse agreed. In the galley, the captain enthusiastically pointed things out. The captain saw water bottles arranged neatly on the floor and knew someone was hiding there. He deliberately delayed the pirates, saying they shouldn't go barefoot in the engine room, or they might step on glass. Then, he led them to the engine room. The hidden man heard this and radioed his teammates in the engine room. The men in the engine room immediately spread broken glass at the entrance. When the pirates entered, they screamed as the glass cut their feet. Muse was furious. He knew this was not an accident. The captain tried to calm Muse, saying they should bandage the injured man. While they argued, the chief engineer used the chance to sneak to the power source and cut the power to the entire ship. The ship went black, and the engine room plunged into darkness. Muse was going crazy with rage. The captain again tried to calm him, saying $30,000 was a lot of money, and the injured man was the priority. Seeing his man bleeding, Muse had to control his anger. He told one pirate to guard the captain, while he led the others to find the rest of the crew. As the captain and the guard left, The men hiding in the dark rushed out and subdued Muse. At that moment, the radio on the bridge crackled. The crew said they had captured the pirate leader and wanted to trade for the captain. Having lost their leader, the pirates panicked. Captain Phillips saw the situation improving. He quickly promised, "You can leave safely on the lifeboat. If you go now, you can take the $30,000 too." To save their leader, the pirates temporarily agreed. So, both sides brought their hostages to the deck. Since none of the pirates knew how to operate the lifeboat, they demanded the captain teach them. Facing their guns, Captain Phillips had to comply. However, just as he finished teaching them and was about to leave, with just a simple glance, a pirate knocked Captain Phillips unconscious. Then, they quickly launched the lifeboat and sped away. By the time the crew could react, the lifeboat was already far away. They quickly restarted the cargo ship. They also reported the emergency to the Maritime Bureau. This time, the Bureau finally took it seriously. They immediately contacted an anti-piracy destroyer patrolling nearby. The pirates planned to take Captain Phillips to Somalia for ransom. The destroyer's mission was to intercept the lifeboat before it reached Somalia. Receiving the report, the destroyer immediately changed course to intercept. As for Captain Phillips, he understood his dangerous situation. He knew he had become the pirates' bargaining chip. The injured pirate looked only 15 or 16. Captain Phillips couldn't bear it. He took the first aid kit from under the floor and bandaged his wound. Soon, a U.S. drone identified the lifeboat's position. It was only 160 nautical miles from Somalia. Receiving this news, the White House gave a direct order: do not let the lifeboat reach Somalia at any cost. The White House also sent Navy SEALs and an aircraft carrier to assist. The atmosphere was like a hot summer night, making it hard to breathe. By now, the fresh water was gone. The pirates had to break the windows to get some relief. Just then, a roar echoed across the sea. The anti-piracy destroyer had arrived. The wake from the destroyer almost capsized the lifeboat. Seeing the U.S. destroyer, Muse panicked. He quickly said they were just fishermen, not terrorists. If they wanted the captain, they needed to pay a $10 million ransom. To calm them down and buy time, the destroyer's captain said money was no problem, they just needed time to arrange it. The next morning, 2 rubber dinghies, claiming to bring food and water, headed for the lifeboat. The rubber dinghy pulled up. While the negotiator talked, someone was constantly filming. When Muse learned the dinghy only brought food and water, no money, he exploded in anger. The pirate guarding the captain even fired a shot right next to his ear. Afraid the agitated pirates would harm the captain, the dinghy quickly returned to the destroyer. Since there was no money, Muse decided to go to Somalia first, then negotiate. The lifeboat was now only 12 hours from Somalia. Staring at the tense situation outside, Muse kept muttering, "It's gonna be okay. When I get money, I'm going to America." Seeing the warships and the carrier, Captain Phillips knew Muse and his men were finished. At 4 a.m., the Navy SEALs had arrived. Captain Phillips sensed his chance. He pretended to use the bathroom near the door. When the pirates weren't looking, he pushed his guard into the water and quickly jumped in after, swimming toward the destroyer. The rescue team quickly spotted the situation. However, it was too dark, and there were 2 figures in the water. They couldn't tell who was the captain and who was the pirate. To see better, they fired a flare. But this gave the pirates the captain's location. Helpless, Captain Phillips had to swim back to the lifeboat with Muse. As soon as he was back on board, the angry pirates beat him badly. Just then, planes began circling overhead. Several warships also surrounded the lifeboat. Muse felt he'd been tricked. He grabbed the captain as a shield to resist. They would rather die here than go to a U.S. prison. The pirates decided to kill the captain. As they prepared to pull the trigger, the rescue team signaled for negotiation. $10 million is not a small sum. Someone needs to come here to discuss it directly. The Navy also read out the names of all 4 pirates, stating which tribe they were from, where they lived, all perfectly clear. Although Muse knew this was likely a trap, he had to agree. He had no other choice. The lifeboat was almost out of fuel. If he didn't end this negotiation, it was a dead end anyway. So, he agreed to be towed to safe waters and negotiate in person. After getting his agreement, the rescue team sent a speedboat to pick him up. After confirming the captain's safety, they threw him a package, saying he should put it on to avoid catching a cold. When he saw it was a high-visibility jacket, Captain Phillips knew the military was planning to use force. At the same time, the U.S. military had secretly planted a listening device on the lifeboat. Then, Muse went with them to the warship. The rescue team led him into a cabin, saying the elders were on their way. On the other side, once all snipers were in position, the warship suddenly turned on all its floodlights. The blinding light made it impossible for the pirates to open their eyes. When the pirates asked why the lights were on, the military didn't answer. They just announced they were starting the tow and to watch for safety. Before they could react, the lifeboat was suddenly yanked forward. Knowing it was a trick, the pirates stayed hidden, giving the snipers no target. To force them out, the warship increased its towing speed. The fast wake made the lifeboat shake violently. But the cunning pirates stayed hidden. The snipers couldn't get a lock. This made Captain Phillips realize the military was about to make its move. If the operation failed, he might die with the pirates. Thinking this, he quickly grabbed a pencil from the floor and started writing a final note. The tow cable shortened. The distance between the lifeboat and the warship shrank. The pirates panicked and wanted to talk to Muse, but were only told he was waiting for the elders. Realizing time was short, the captain began calling out his wife's and children's names. This made the already agitated pirates even angrier. One pirate decided to shoot the captain. Losing his cool, he stepped toward the window. Just like that, 3 targets were locked. Instantly, all 3 pirates were killed cleanly. Captain Phillips, still blindfolded, didn't know what had happened. When he removed the blindfold, the sight before him stunned him. Then, he burst into tears. After being brought onto the warship and examined, Captain Phillips only had some minor injuries. However, the terrifying ordeal, lasting many days and nights, had left him in complete shock. As for Muse, after his 3 men were shot, he was immediately arrested. He was eventually sentenced to 33 years in a U.S. prison. You could say he made it to America in a different way, achieving his American dream. Captain Phillips is an American biographical film directed by Paul Greengrass. Starring Tom Hanks and Barkhad Abdi, it premiered in 2013. The film is based on a true event, with a strong American patriotic tone. The Somali pirates called themselves fishermen because they truly used to live by fishing. When fish stocks depleted and war raged, the infamous Somali pirates emerged. This isn't sympathy for pirates. It's that everyone in this story is unfortunate. The captain, after being rescued, cried like a child. While happy to be alive, he also felt pity for the 3 dead pirates.
And that's a wrap for today's movie. If you enjoyed this movie, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.